Hey there, everyone. Mazarok here, and today I want to talk about blood DK rotation. This is something that's been asked quite a bit of me in some of my videos and stuff, and I haven't given a rotation because it's a little interactive based upon kind of what you've got going on, the size of the pull, your DPS, and things like that. But let's cover it now. So I am here in Kyrian. I have 5 targets. I wish these 5 targets would hit me back for the dancing rune weapon so I could show you that a little bit, but unfortunately that's not the case, so this is what we are. So basic standard opening kind of rotation and what you want to focus on when you are Night Fae, Venthyr, or Necrolord is you can open up with a Death and Decay, you put it right on top of. If the mobs are spread, I will try and move myself at an angle to come in where I can hit them quickly with a Blood Boil. So those are kind of the 2 standard ways to open, but first you want to make sure that you have Dancing Rune Weapon up. You should have Dancing Rune Weapon ready for every single pack. If you have a choice to use it again as the mob is dying, I wouldn't, because I would want to make sure that I have it for the next pack. It is a great defensive tool and a great offensive generator as well. So this is something that unless you're you're chaining into a next pack and you already have Dancing Rune Weapon up, you want to make sure that you have that. So what I will do here, depending on kind of what I want to do, I'll open up with a Death and Decay, Dancing Rune Weapon, hit it with a Blood Boil. I'll do a quick Marrow Rend, and then I will just Heart Strike until I've got nothing left. And then you can just go through Heart Striking, Blood Boiling, and Death Striking. Those are your main key abilities. Now what you want to do here is also use your Blood Tap to get more Heart Strikes in, because every single time you Heart Strike while Dancing Rune Weapon is up, you get a 3% strength buff. So you need to Death Strike 14 times to be able to get your full stacks of this buff going on. Basically it. And then that way you can kind of roll in from there. Use your defensives as you need be. But that's kind of the key. Make sure you get your bone stacks continuously going and things like that. I was a little bit quick on my Marrow Rend there, but you want to make sure that you always have above 5 Bone Shield stacks. And as you're rolling through the packs or the defensives are going on, I just lost my Bone Shield stacks, you want to be using Tombstone in there as well. Other defensives that you can use while you're kind of Heart Strike generating your strength buff is your Icebound Fortitude, your Vampiric Blood, as well as Lichborn. Lichborn with the Conduit. I don't know if I have that equipped. I think I should. Oh, it's over there. Will give you a lot of leech. So if you're running Voracious, which you should, you're going to gain 15% leech, and then you'll have 25% leech with Lichborn active. So very, very strong there. But that's kind of the basics to how I open with those 3 covenants. It's a little bit more difficult, a little bit more technical with Kyrian, and we're going to get into that with a second. Now, the only difference between Venthyr and Necrolord versus Night Fae, you always want to open up with a Death's Due, because that's your main covenant ability. You gain strength stacks off of it, damage reductions off of it. You always want to be starting with a Death's Due wherever you can. Always, always, always. So let's get into the Kyrian rotation, because the Kyrian rotation is all about generating free runes and getting that max 40 stack very quickly, and you can do that very easily with the Kyrian buff. So what I do, I go in, I will open up with a Dancing Rune Weapon, then I will Heart Strike. I got a free Death Dew proc. I'll do it until I have no more runes. Pop, and then you see how all my runes regenerated there just from me spreading my shackle? I'm already easily now at 40% buff. So here I can use my Tombstone, and you really just can go to town. You're going to have a lot, but basically once you got your strength stacks, it's going to be a combination of Blood Boil, Heart Strike, and Death Strike. And you're just going to keep rolling that way while keeping your Marrow Rend, keeping your Bone Shield stacks up. But it is very, very easy to just get your 40 stack, run off your procs, and work through that. And then here we get our nice Death Dew. So here we're going to gain a Death Dew, our Shackle back. You gain a bunch of free runes. And that's the trick to getting the 40 strength stack as much as you can. a big thing with this one is a haste. Usually I'm at over 48% haste, which I think is the breaking point, with Bone Shield up and solely a secret technique, which I do not run on when I'm doing solo content, but in a dungeon I do have solely a secret technique because I don't have a codex to the first technique yet. But so big things to kind of remember here is open up with Dancing Rune Weapon, make it last as long as possible, which is easier with your parry. So if we're going against one of these dummies that actually hit you, you can parry the attacks, increasing the length and duration of your Dancing Rune Weapon, which is a very big part of keeping the full uptime on that. But basically, the whole Kyrian goal is to get to 40 stacks of strength as fast as possible. And you do that by Dancing Rune Weapon at a distance, Blood Boil to apply 2 stacks of your plague. Then you can start running through, and then boom. And every time you spread your shackle, you gain a bunch of runes back, and it's very, very easy to get to the 40 strength stack there. And then once you're at 40, then you can kind of go on and work with the rest, using Blood Tap to give you more Heart Strikes when you need it. The goal here is to stay above 5 Bone Shields stacks while constantly heart striking as much as possible. You see on 5 targets, it's very, very easy to hit 16k. When you've got more targets, you can actually do this a lot more. Now, where this becomes reactive is knowing when to pop Shackle the Unworthy. Because what happens is if you have a small pack or a pack that you know is just going to melt, and you're not going to have the chance to heart strike 14 times to be able to get your max strength stack because it's just going to melt, you're going to want to pop this right off the bat just to deal as much damage and kind of deal with what's going on. But for Snap Threat, Dancing Rune Weapon with Blood Boil, applying the 2 stacks of the Plague is fantastic. It's really, really good, really strong. So that's kind of your basic thing. Obviously, while you're in that and you're getting hit and you're building your stacks, if you have to heart strike, do it. That is primarily the goal. You know, stay alive. But you do have other means of doing so. You can pop your ghoul and blow him up. You can always use Bone Storm combined with, you know, Lichborn if you want. So you have 25% leech on all of your attack while you're heart striking. There's a lot of easy ways to heal and not just Death Strike, but peppering Death Strikes when you're in trouble while building your Heart Strike stacks is kind of what you want to do there. So that is it. My guild Bloodstorm is currently seeking DPS. If that's something that you want to join, come on by. We're on the Frostwolf Vosh servers. If you want to, there's a guild link down below as well as the community Discord link, which is also the guild link. For if you want to ask me any questions, anything like that, like, comment, subscribe. Cannot do it without the support of people like you. Thank you very, very much for everything. I hope you have yourself a great day.